Hey, Silas.
Hi, Laurie. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We're both sporting new haircuts.
We are. Yes. It's a lovely, nice, jaunty haircut you
Yeah,
have.
yeah, and so do you. I love the short bob. It's great.
I just,
So
it was a relief to have a
this
haircut.
is this is us slowly coming out of lockdown, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's been a journey of lockdown, really.
it
Our
has.
journey of
Yeah,
coaching.
it has. It's been yes. It's amazing to think that it's been as long as it has. Um, and actually, it's just incredible to think back over the last year. What an intense and extraordinary year it's been for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's also a bittersweet moment because it's our completion session,
Mm,
which is there's like a bit of a celebration of, yay, we've done all this great work and you're off to a juicy role that you're going to be in and busy, busy.
mhm.
And it's come to the end of an arc for
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
And there's a bit of sadness in that for me because I really enjoy these sessions.
definitely, definitely for me too. Yeah, I had some anticipation about today simply because I knew it would be. There's part of my mind kind of reviewing things as we come up to a completion session. That's what it does. It sets your mind kind of thinking and reviewing and looking back, but also looking forward. And yeah, there's sadness inside of me, kind of like moving forward. I want to say without you. Of course, it's not without you. I take you and the work with me, but
Yeah,
without these sessions any longer, and that
yeah.
feels sad and a bit daunting,
Mm,
but also kind of exciting. Yeah.
mm, yeah, good. That feels like a good place to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, what I like to do in a completion session is a little bit of a review, but really the purpose is to have you feel um, like you've got some tools moving forward.
Yes.
So, you
Yeah.
came up with a number of things in the last 10 months or so.
Mm,
And just so I've compiled a few things, which want to remind you of a few things and
mm, mm.
celebrate and maybe recommit to values or have you refocus on them or something, just see what you want to take forward for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Great. That sounds good.
Yeah. And I think where I'd like to start, there's all the tools that we use, the underlying things, the statements, the phrases, the characters, the inner characters, and values, and all of those. And then there's the doing, the actions that
Yes.
we started with, and the real purpose at the beginning was to get your audio studio set up
Yeah.
and the technology.
Yeah.
And then it felt to me like navigate because that happened. And then it felt like navigating the rest of lockdown and preparing yourself for what's next. That's what I would
Yeah.
say on the doing side of what this
Mm.
art was about. Would you agree? Or
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I was kind of thinking about this. I was thinking about how interesting is that coaching. You start off with a specific goal, and then of course, because coaching deals with all of your life, other things open up.
yeah,
And so the journey takes an unexpected turn sometimes. Um, and it's certainly been a year for that. We started out kind of, talking about doing creating the audio studio, and then we've moved into other things, and I've certainly moved into other things. But you kind of take that experience, if you take that initial goal and apply the lessons and the actions to lots of other things that are going on as well. So
yeah,
it's morphed,
mm,
and there's still a goal around the audio book work
yeah,
still there, still alive. So
mm,
yeah, it's lots of different things have come up.
yeah, great. So where I would like to focus our attention in this session is on those lessons because they'll
Yeah.
apply to anything and everything.
Yes. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
But I am curious as we move out of lockdown, and let's say, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, right? But let's say the world completely opens up, um,
Yeah.
at least, in a year or so. What will you do with your audio studio?
Yeah. It's a good question. So um, I still haven't yet recorded an audiobook.
Mm.
And that will be the next stage. However, when I look back, when I started this journey, what I wanted to do initially was set up an audio studio at home.
Mhm.
And my fears were around um, learning the technology of it,
Yeah.
applying myself to learning how to record and edit and connect with other companies remotely so that I could do voiceovers from home, which is one of the sort of requirements of moving forward in lockdown. Lots of people now are having to work from home, and that I have done. That's been a kind of it's a huge achievement for me. As I said, there's probably lots of people watching thinking that's not such a big thing. For lots of people, getting around a computer is not a big thing, but for me, it's a really, really big thing. And I enlisted the help of a really good friend of mine, who's a sound engineer and sound designer. And so now I'm in the position where my voiceover agent has thrown some work my way. And I've done it from my home studio. And I'm now in this position where she can call me up and say, I've got this gig for you. They want you to record from home, on this day. They'll just send you a link and you can connect. And I've been able to do that. And I've been able to do that on quite a few jobs, which I would not have been able to do over lockdown if I didn't, kind of crack that nut, as it were. So that's been a huge success,
Yeah, great.
And also that learning of that software has also helped me with the film editing software that I have to kind of get on top of to do self-tapes. And that's been brilliant, because I have a friend, an actor friend of mine, we do self-tapes together. And he does the kind of the editing and sending off for me. He's always been brilliant at that. But over lockdown, I've had to do some of that myself, obviously.
Right.
And so if he's not available, it's easy for me to do that now. And if my agent calls up and says, can you do this voiceover gig from home? I can go, yes, and I've done that. And on a couple of occasions, quite big jobs, So that for me is a huge achievement, for which I have to thank you and this process. And then there's the entering into the world of audiobooks, and I'm on a couple of sites and I have sent off some auditions and they've not been successful, but that's okay, because I now discover it's a huge world out there, and there are so many people, gunning for these jobs, and some of them are scripts that I don't particularly want to do, but I've been putting myself into the practice of auditioning. That hasn't brought me any jobs yet. However, what it did bring, to answer your question about the future, was a connection through you. So one of your very good friends, Dorrit Noble, watched these videos, and she suggested that I get in touch with her husband, Peter, who does audiobooks. He only does audiobooks now. He no longer, I believe, does any other work in the acting profession. He just does audiobooks, and he knows that world really well. So I got in touch with him, and he's been really helpful. He put me in touch with somebody else, a woman called Helen Lloyd, who runs a course. And what she does is she mentors you. So she teaches you more about recording techniques, about how to break down, a book into manageable chunks, how to record, editing, but also she knows the world of audiobooks really well. She's been doing it for decades. So she mentors people into the whole marketing side of it. What I'm now discovering is that you've got to be on the circuit in order to be able to kind of, to find some success. So that's my next big project. And we've been in touch. I've got this work coming up now, this theatre work, so I can't apply myself to it for a few months, to this course for a few months. But she knows that. And so I've got to do some work for her. We're going to connect in a few months' time when I have more time available to me, when the theatre show is up and running. And then hopefully I can get on that course and do that course. And that may be my entry into the world of audiobooks. So that's the next thing. I wouldn't have been even able to consider doing her course had I not set up my studio and learned the technology. Because one of the requirements to do her course is that you have to know how to do it all already.
Mm.
You know, do the recording from home, use the software from home. So that's my next stage, but that comes out of having, you know, created a home studio. I've got a home studio now, and I know how to use it.
Oh, fantastic!
Which is amazing.
Really. It is amazing.
It's a breakthrough for me.
Yeah.
Know?
And I'm curious.
Sorry, carry on.
Well, I'm curious about this vision that started out as a place in Italy, and then in the countryside, we did that visioning work where you're out there and just you have your home studio, and that's like, I don't know if that was semi-retirement or what, but where are you with that vision?
That is an ongoing vision. Funnily enough, just before we came onto this session, I was having a chat with my partner Rachel over breakfast about our next stage of moving to the countryside, and we've been researching that, we've been dreaming that, we've been doing some high dreams and low dreams exercises around it, and also we've been kind of looking at the realities of it, the practicalities of it, so we know kind of where we're going to. We know the time span. We're starting to look at different parts of the country where we would like to go to. So that is an ongoing process that is picking up some speed. But what I do know now is that being able to do that kind of work, to be able to do audiobooks from a home studio in that kind of setup as a supplementary form of income is possible for me. That, so I haven't yet set that scenario up, but the vision is unfolding.
Nice.
The practicalities of the vision is unfolding, which is really exciting. And I think that the main thing about it has actually been, the main thing of this journey has been removing fears. To actually, you say, okay, I want to go over there. You know that there are a number of things that have to happen before you go over there. You can't do them all straight away. So you've got to work your way backwards and say, what is it possible for me to do today? And the thing at the very beginning was the first thing that needs to happen is I need to find my way around a computer. I need to find my way around voiceover software. That's the first stage. So it's a question of taking those little steps. And there's been some other steps that I've taken kind of in that direction. And one of them, one of the most, how do I say this? The most basic thing is the walking that I've been doing. I've been spending a lot of time outdoors throughout lockdown. A lot of time. I've been walking in the forest, and I've been in my garden, re-landscaping things, building veg patches, and I've just recently, over the last 2 weeks, built myself a little conservatory out of reclaimed windows and reclaimed glass.
Nice.
And so now we have a potting shed, a proper potting shed. So that's a smaller version of what we want to create in the future. We want to have a piece of land where we grow.
Nice.
Yeah, so
wonderful.
I've been doing all those little things that are part of the bigger picture.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting, actually. It's really exciting.
Nice. And of course, living in the countryside wouldn't prohibit you taking that superstar role that'll come your way one of these days.
No, exactly. No, it's, one of the things about lockdown and the pandemic over the last year is that it's changed the landscape in lots of different ways. So now we're all able to, work more remotely. There was a time years ago when if you wanted to be an actor of a certain caliber, you needed to be based in London. You needed to be near where the studios are, near where the casting directors' offices are. near where the agents' offices are. All of that has changed now. So now it's agents and casting directors and producers will support actors much more who do not live in the center of things, who live further out. And that's happening more and more and more because that process has been really accelerated by the changes that have happened over the pandemic. So now it feels like much easier to be somewhere else and still get that star role. It feels much because I'm self-taping now, and meeting people online and doing Zoom auditions, which is really weird.
I can imagine.
Such a weird thing to audition on Zoom, but I've been doing it. I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you've got your vision of where you're headed, you and Rachel, and for work and your personal life and all of that. So how about if we refocus a little bit on all the lessons, the values and lessons and those kind of things, so that you really have your kit, your internal kit, if we can call it that, for moving forward. There might be some things that you've forgotten about or something. I kind of collated a number of things from our sessions. I just thought we would revisit them.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great.
Knowing that you've got your vision of where you're going. This will be a bit of the how. So the first thing I noted was master in the making. I also wrote it as mastery in the making. Which is your preferred, master or mastery?
Mastery in the making.
Mastery in the making. How's your feeling about mastery in the making at this point?
Yeah, what was really profound about choosing that title was the in the making part. Because we created that because I knew that I would not reach the goal that I wanted to reach anytime soon. I was not going to become an audiobook master overnight, so we created that other part of the title, in the making. So it kind of always focuses in on the journey. And that's been a tremendous lesson because it actually takes away the pressure of I'm not there yet, and that's a kind of that's a stick that you can beat yourself with every day. I'm not there yet. I'm not good enough yet. I haven't done it yet. There are all these other people around me who have been doing this for years, and I'm not there. It focuses in on the journey. This is something that's in the making.
Yeah.
And I might die whilst it's still in the making. That's okay, because I will have been making things all of my life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that was a really useful thing for me. And I keep reminding myself of that lesson every day, actually, rather than looking at where I have not yet arrived.
Yeah.
I'm always looking back at, but what have I done in that direction? And that's very encouraging. As we just said, I haven't yet recorded an audiobook professionally, but what I have done is created the studio and the means to do that from home.
And
what I have done is sent off a number of auditions, which means I've already tackled a number of little pieces of script and recorded them and edited them myself and played around with voices. So, looking back and saying, who am I already? What have I already done? Helps with where I'm going to next, as opposed to looking at that huge goal up there and going, well, I'm not there. I'm not a master. I'm a master in the making. That's nice. That's been a huge lesson. It's something I kind of remind myself of all the time when I feel daunted, or I can feel my saboteur beating me up because I'm not a master yet.
Right. Yeah. There were a couple of other expressions that you used that I think are supportive of that. One is the rhythm of the universe.
Yeah.
And everything is transient.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're part of that whole mastery in the making. Do you remember those?
Yeah, definitely. The rhythm of the universe has been really good because, again, one of the things that's really come out of these coaching sessions is the regular walking. That's kind of changed the way in which I exercise, actually. We've all had to change the way in which we've exercised over the last year because gyms have not been available to us, or lots of different sports with other people have not been available. and what has been available is walking. But that to me has been, you know, it's just a fabulous new part of my life. I'm spending a lot of time outdoors. I'm spending a lot of time amongst trees, amongst my friends. Um, but you know, the whole thing of getting into the rhythm of the universe when you're walking, you know, you are stepping in rhythm with the universe, and that, in a way, how can I explain this? What are thoughts that I'm having? That in a way that slows you down.
Mm,
When you're trying to get somewhere, you can trip over yourself with your ambition, you
mm,
know, and actually the universe works in a way that's so much more organic, you know, and walking is one of those things that really gets you into the rhythm of the universe. So it sort of slows me down. And what I mean by that is it stops me being, um, again, like overly ambitious to the point where I'm beating myself up for not having got there. I
right.
realize that actually there's a rhythm, there's a natural rhythm to these things.
Mm,
And so what that's given me is just more awareness to actually like sit back and let things be. So I'm still applying myself to the dreams, I'm still applying myself to the goals, but I'm letting them, you know, have their own rhythm. And then I'm noticing that, you know, things are coming to me from other directions, things are coming to me from places that I had not expected.
magical, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, that's, yeah, I think, you know, the rhythm of the universe is mostly being discovered in walking.
Yeah, and I was also looking at these, we had some 2020 lessons that we did in early January.
Yeah,
Walking, walking was a big one, and gratitude,
yeah, yeah,
walking in
absolutely.
gratitude.
Yeah,
And there was, oh, here was another one. I'm already here. Enjoy what I have. And I
yeah,
have enough. Feels like those are all part of that.
yeah. And uh that's very profound, and that has to be a constant reminder. That has to be but that's been really helped by lockdown, you know, by what's happened to all of us, by the pandemic. Really, it's just focusing in on what we have in life as opposed to what we don't have, and how I'm just so lucky. I'm so lucky. I'm so privileged to have the life that I have. And it stopped me looking in that kind of hard capitalist way that we're all trained to look at, you know, more, more, more. I don't
Yeah.
have enough yet. I've got to create more. There's, you know, that has, the last year's really helped to dissipate that and get me more grateful and more aware of, you know, of my privileges. So things like, you know, the vision of living in the countryside, I've been doing it in my garden. You know,
Mm,
I am living that life just in my garden. You know,
nice.
I
Yeah.
have my chickens and I'm growing my vegetables and I've now got my potting shed, you know. And it's just a question of allowing yourself to realize that you already have what you want, and what you want tomorrow is maybe just to have that expand a bit. You
Mm,
know, the garden can become a homestead, and then the homestead can become a farm. You know,
yeah.
and that will happen if you trust it. You know, if
Nice.
you're constantly saying, I'm not there, I don't have enough, you're blocking the ability for the, you know, for that stuff to come in, I think.
Reminds me also of the Stoics. You were reading a
Yes.
Stoic book. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I read. I mean, that book was a game changer as well for me. That was amazing. Lots of things came out of that book, but one of the strongest things for me was managing expectations, which also, you know, that expectations comes up in your be safe and certain model
Yeah.
that I did. You know, and
Yeah.
it's a strange thing to think about managing expectations, because you can sometimes take that to mean lowering your sights,
Yes.
you know, diminishing your goals or diminishing your dreams, and it's not that.
Mm,
It's actually about, you know, recognizing that there is a universal rhythm that you want to get with, and if you're trying to run faster than it, you're going to trip up. You know. So yeah, the Stoics book was fantastic. I mean, that really spoke to
mm. And there was also, so you mentioned be safe and certain, and also in here is this bit about status and managing that driver, that innate driver that we all have
Yeah,
around status
yeah,
and the other things, but status was a big one for you.
yeah. I think what was so powerful about that model, we've talked about this in another session. What's really powerful is that, to recognize that we all have, those elements, those 6 elements, be safe and certain, running through us. But we're all different people, and some of us have stronger threats around one of those particular elements, one or two, or we find more reward in one of those elements than in the other 5, let's say. So to recognize that we're all different people and we have different responses to things, depending on that are dependent upon what our experiences were in childhood. So for me to recognize that I've got a big threat around status,
Or sensitivity around status.
Sensitivity, yeah, was really good, because the people that I was working with on the course, they didn't have that, but they did have sensitivity around some other things that I don't have sensitivity around. So we were able to kind of like help each other and coach each other, but just to recognize that I'm not the same as the next person, so that's okay. So that person over there who does not have that sensitivity has already reached places that I haven't yet reached and I want to. It doesn't make him or her any better than me, just different.
Yeah.
So then that helps me to focus in on, that's what's going on with me right now. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's all about self-management. Sounds like it's such a dull expression, but knowing yourself. Sometimes I think that what we're up to is creating our own books of the maintenance guide to, or the user's guide to Silas.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. It's self-awareness. It's something that, again, that's something that we say a lot, self-awareness. But it's awareness of yourself, not just other people, awareness that you are different to everybody else. And so your journey is going to be different, and your obstacles are going to be different, and your achievements are going to be different, and your goals are going to be different. So understand what those are and stop comparing yourself to other people and their journeys and their goals.
Well, there was your Buddhist compare and despair expression, I think, from last time or the time before.
Yeah. That was something that a therapist said to me a while ago. That has.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was a therapist.
Yeah.
Number of years ago, and it's one of the most powerful things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Compare and despair. Absolutely, it's so true.
Yeah. So the Buddhist saying I must have been thinking about was that second dart. That if you you have some kind of saboteur or something beating yourself up, and then going, what am I doing beating myself up? That can be even more painful. That was another thing we visited.
Yeah. And again, that's something I have. The word should is coming up. That is something I've been tackling a lot throughout our journey. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should have achieved this. I should have that amount of money in the bank by now. I should have been given that award. That's a killer.
Yeah.
As Anthony Robbins once said, you should all over yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's been a constant kind of lesson that I've been pounding over the last year. And it's really helped. I've found a lot of solace and happiness and enjoyment in getting on with what I want to do, not with what I think I should be doing. And again, lockdown has helped with that, because it's changed all of the rules. And
you've been very adaptable.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, that's okay.
Well, I thought we'd look at your values as well, just to recall those. The way I wrote them, we had done all that values work, and there was a whole theme of trees, I remember, in that.
Mm.
But the values are creativity,
Mhm.
aesthetics, tradition,
Mhm.
connection,
Mhm.
and kindness.
Mhm. Mhm.
How are you feeling about those 5 values, concepts,
Um,
words at the moment?
I've been really creative over the last year, and uh, I've been creative in my own way. I've been doing things at home. I've been using my hands a lot. I've been making stuff. I've been working with wood, um, and that has been just heaven sent, actually.
Mm,
Again, kind of coming off that what's coming off the train of, I should be doing this with my life, or I should be doing that, and actually just doing the stuff that I want to do has helped me to focus on, some creative pursuits that I really, really, really enjoy. So, and interestingly enough, it has released me into other things. So when I'm just concentrating on, I'm either just walking in the forest, or I'm trying to find a branch that I can use for a chair leg that I'm whittling right now. You know, doing those things stops me thinking about what I should be doing. And then lo and behold, the phone rings and my agent says, I've got you some work here, because I'm not applying myself to that. So applying myself to my own creativity has released other things and opened
yes.
up other things, that kind of magical circle that happens.
Amazing.
And it's actually, not as easy as it sounds to just follow the things that you want to do in life. I've been doing a lot of that, and it's taken a lot for me to get around to leaving myself alone and doing what makes me happy. So I've been doing my pottering, I've been doing my making, I've been working with wood. So yeah, creativity has been, and also working with, traditional tools. The money that I've saved over lockdown, I've been buying myself a lot of things that I otherwise would not have bought myself. So I've been buying myself some hand tools,
Mm,
curved chisels and various other sliding bevels and various other things that I need for the woodworking that I've been doing. And that's just been amazing.
that sounds amazing.
I've been applying myself to my values more consciously.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, great, great. I hear creativity, aesthetics, tradition, and all in that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And I know that connection and kindness is going on all the time.
It is going on all the time. Yeah, connection has been what's the word? It's been challenged this year. For all of us, making connections with each other, and connecting with people in different ways. But I've also, I think what I've been doing is connecting in a different way. Recognizing that it's okay to let go of certain connections because they're not actually the connections that serve you very well, and being more rigorous about the connections that do. Um, so yeah, that one has, there's been a kind of fluidity to
Yeah,
that. You know,
but it's not gone.
kindness is, that's the really interesting one, because over the last year I've been learning how to be more kind to myself.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, yeah, dealing with saboteur voices and letting go of expectations and letting go of shoulds and taking more care of myself. Again, one of the things that came out of the Be Safe and Certain module that I did with you was getting more sleep. you
Mm,
know Actually giving yourself that time, which means saying no to things and saying no to people. you know Saying
mm,
no to these kind of constant demands that the modern world can put on you. Just go, no, I'm going to have an early night, or I'm going to sleep in the afternoon and not feel guilty about it. So there's been a lot more self-kindness.
nice,
Yeah,
beautiful. Connection with self, perhaps as well.
yeah, 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 absolutely.
And connection to trees and nature.
Yeah, yeah, that's been the most powerful thing I think that's come out of this, is connecting with trees and forests. And Rachel and I have been talking about the fact that when we buy a piece of land, I want a woodland. You know,
Mm.
my brother Russell, who he's no longer a carpenter by profession, but he trained as a carpenter, and then he trained as a joiner actually, and then when the world of sort of IKEA and click together furniture happened, people no longer commissioned carpenter joiners to make bespoke furniture. So his world changed. But he and I were talking the other day, and he said, I look back on my life, and there's a part of me that just wishes I could have been a woodsman. I wishes I could have been a forester. And I was like, you really? That's exactly the same as me. We both talked about the fact that we harbored this dream of being a forester. And so my connection to trees over the last year has really grown, and that's what Rachel and I are now dreaming of, that we actually buy a piece of woodland. Because I would like to work a piece of woodland.
Nice.
Mm.
Mm.
So yeah, but the walking has been the one thing that has kept me sane over the last year.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of walking in forests, sitting underneath trees, hugging trees.
Nice. Love that.
I'm an unabashed tree hugger.
Mm.
Very good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, as I listen to you, it's like listening to a modern day philosopher. It's
Really?
very, it's very compelling. Yeah.
Bless you. Bless you.
Yeah. I
Thank
feel like I learned a lot just listening to you and your reflections on life and yourself, and it's beautiful.
Oh wow. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you.
Stoics have nothing on you, you know. Yeah.
Oh, bless you. Other people's perspectives of you are a very, very interesting thing in life.
Mm.
I don't have that perspective of myself at all, but I hear you when you say that you have that perspective of me, and I let that land. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
saying.
We've been popping all around this page, this collection that I have of different things we visited. We've visited almost, I mean, all the things that we visited over the past year, and we've revisited them, most of them, in just this organic conversation, which has been quite fun. There's just a couple other things on this page that I thought we might look at as well, and they're characters.
Mm.
You remember your characters of Bobby, Stig, and Yalo?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
sort of not so happy characters.
Yeah. I haven't really spent time with those characters, or taken those characters forward. But I remember that the lesson from that I have taken forward, which is naming characters.
Mm.
Actually naming voices, let's say, or naming parts of you. As soon as you give something a name, you separate yourself from it.
Nice.
And then you kind of recognize that that's not really who you are.
Mm.
And that has been helpful. Those, I haven't reminded myself of those names specifically, but I certainly remember the and you did it also once with emotions. You said, let's name that emotion. I think it was the emotion of jealousy, wasn't it? I was talking about being jealous of people, and you said, well, let's name that. And as soon as you name something, you give it a character, it's no longer you.
Yeah.
So it's okay for me to say, I feel jealousy. That's all right, as opposed to I am jealous.
Yeah, it's a great distinction.
That's an interesting thing, isn't it? How we do that in language. We talk about emotions as though they are me. I am angry. I am sad. No, you're feeling sad. You're feeling anger. And that's okay. because it's not who you are. It's just what's going through you in
Mm.
this moment. You
It's
know.
not an identity, it's an experience.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So naming Grimaldi, was really good because it separated Grimaldi from me.
Yeah. Yeah. Grimaldi was another one I had done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Good. So you take the lesson from that and apply it, which is
yeah,
really the
yeah,
most important thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On the theme of characters, we also had Bullymore.
yeah. I can't
It was
remember how Bullymore came up.
um I don't remember the topic we were working on, to be honest, but I remember asking you what's a character that you've played
That's right. Yeah,
that might support you in
yeah.
moving forward. And
Mm,
you picked Bullymore, who is the butler to J. Paul Getty, right? In a show
that's
you
right.
were doing. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And there was something about, well, I don't know, do you remember there was something about the presence perhaps, or attention?
Mm. Yes, I can't quite remember actually where he came up in the session, but the feeling of him certainly comes to mind. That sort of
It was loyalty,
loyalty. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
something
yeah,
about loyalty and sort of a commitment. And
yeah. And there's something about his kindness and his precision.
mm,
I remember the precision of the character, um, and how he never rushed anything. He took things slowly and precisely.
mm,
There's something about the kind of the tortoise and the hare, the Aesop's fable of the tortoise and the hare in there. That if you just take things slowly and cover one section at a time, and don't try and rush ahead of yourself, then you will get there. And there was something about Bullimore in that. But yes, the kindness and the loyalty. I mean, he was extremely loyal to this man who treated him very badly. And he developed a sort of love for this dreadful person because I think he probably recognized that Getty didn't love himself.
mm.
So he did the loving of him for him.
Well,
And to have that character alongside me actually has been really good, because I don't always love myself. When I'm grappling with my demons, I'm not loving myself. But to have somebody there as part of your kind of your set of characters that you take with you in life, who will always be loyal to you no matter what you do or no matter how you behave. That's a powerful lesson. There's a part of you that will love you even when you're not behaving in the way that you want to.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, in this way you describe the methodical, I'm not sure that's the word you used, one step at a time. That kind of brings us back to the beginning of this whole review. That's the theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
don't get ahead of yourself,
Yeah.
trip yourself up, rhythm of the universe. Everything is transient, mastery in the making. It's all
Yeah.
about the journey and the one step at a time.
Mm.
Really
Yeah,
good.
and actually that's really helpful. Coming into this session, kind of, already I was reviewing myself and thinking over the last year. And there's a part of me that, kind of saboteur voice that jumped up and said, yes, but you haven't yet done any audio books. So you haven't really achieved what you and Laurie set out to. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hang back. That's in the future. This is mastery in the making. That is going to happen if you just stay with this. But it is one step at a time. And actually, over the last year, I have achieved a lot. You and I have achieved a lot, on this journey together. And it's coming. It's just not the step that we've seen yet. All those other steps are making it possible, and it'll come. So there's something about that, the patience, being methodical. The thing that's popping up in the back of my head right now, which I want to share, is that when I was at drama school years ago, um, my dad used to come and see a lot of our shows, and so he got to know the principal of the drama school, and he wrote to my principal a couple of years after I left drama school, and kind of like told him, I think they were sharing something about a show they'd both seen, and my dad said, "Oh, and Silas is doing this, that, and the other." And the principal wrote back to him, and my dad shared the letter, and it was such an interesting thing to me because he said, Silas will do well, but it will take time.
Hmm.
He will reach his greatest successes later in life, probably in his 50s. And at the time, it was a strange thing for me to hear. Because at this point, I'm in my late 20s, early 30s, and part of me was like, "What? 50s?" And then I thought about it, and I thought, no, he actually knows something about me. He knows something about the way in which people cast, and the mold that people fit into, and so on and so forth. And he could see that projection. And yet here I am, in my 30s and 40s. Perhaps I had a lot of frustrations about not breaking through the way in which other people have had broken through. And yet here I am. I've been an actor for 35 years now. I'm still making a living, and it ain't going to stop anytime soon, not if I've got anything to do with it. And so many people I know are no longer actors. They've dropped off, and even through lockdown, so many people has just left the profession. And here I am still going. And so I recognize what he was saying, that there is something, methodical in me that just, keeps going and keeps believing. And actually, that is a success in itself, surviving this profession and making a living out of this profession, is a huge achievement. And it helps me to project into the future. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be doing this in my 80s and 90s. Absolutely. And if that's making audio books or still making films or whatever it is, it's going to have some life. So to know that about myself, something that he could see in me that I couldn't see at that age, because you're running when you're, late 20s, early 30s, and you want everything, but you're kind of like the hare. And then suddenly you just go like, oh, I've got to sleep under this tree. I'm giving it up now. And the tortoise is still going,
Yeah.
So yeah, that aspect of Bullymore is very definitely there, and as a lesson to take forward, actually, to remind myself of this.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that you could take forward, but what are the key one or two things, or maybe three, that you really want to remember from this last year of introspection? And
I think what I've just said actually is one of the major lessons. That there is a rhythm, and it may not be the rhythm that you desire, but if you get with that rhythm and trust it, you will get to where you want to go. So learning that rhythm, learning the universal rhythm, learning the rhythm of your life, learning the rhythm of the way in which you work. Yeah. That's the first thing. The second thing is concentrating on want as opposed to should. And I have done that from day to day, and it really helps me get out of a funk. I ask myself when I wake up, what do I want to do today? Not what do I think I should do today? Yeah. And that has really helped. That's something I will take forward with me. The third thing is the connection to nature. How important that is. That I have to say no to things in order to be able to say yes to other things. So turning away certain things in order to be able to get out there, get out there and be in the woods, get out there and do that walking, get out there and find those animals and be with them and work that land.
Yeah. The animals you described as your friends at one point.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, beautiful. So the rhythm, wants instead of shoulds, and connection to nature.
Yeah.
It feels like a very nice summary.
Yeah, those are the three most powerful lessons, and they all have to do with being specific about who I am and not comparing myself to other people.
Yeah. I think ultimately, what I'm getting is that you have this philosophy in you and this philosopher in you, and all you need to do is look there. case you're ever feeling down on yourself. You know, you've got so many amazing answers and philosophies that you have and that you live and that you've experienced. It's all there.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And yeah, that just comes down to trusting yourself and listening to yourself, you know, which I don't think is, it sounds like a simple thing and it sounds like an easy thing. It's not always easy. And I think it's not always easy because we live in a world of comparison and competition.
Yes.
That's how our, you know, economic, political, and, you know, that's how our structures are set up. And so it's actually quite hard to resist that.
Yes.
Quite hard to resist comparison and competition, and just say, no, who am I and how am I going to live, and listen to my own, you know, wisdoms and my own lessons that I've already got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust them and be loyal to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Even if the pressure's out there, like, come this way, come this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
We
trust
say
that
we say these things kind of glibly, don't we? You know, like, oh, just trust yourself. That can be the hardest thing to do.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I trust that you will.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I really believe in that. Yeah. Well, so this is our ending point. Bittersweet. I do hope you'll check in every now and then, and
yes,
just to see how things are going.
Yeah.
No obligation there, but
yeah,
be great.
I will do, absolutely, Laurie. And I really want to thank you. This has been an amazing journey for me. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot from the way in which you coach me. I learned a huge amount from your Be Safe and Certain module. I have looked back over some of these recordings, and it's strange viewing because I'm used to seeing myself playing characters, but I've never seen myself talking about me. And it's a kind of a strange thing, but I have watched over them because I wanted to watch how you coach. And to me, it is masterful. You're a fantastic coach. So I want to thank you for giving me this gift. And I want to thank you for being such an amazing coach and such a kind person. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Silas. And that's another thank you to you, too, is thank you for your willingness to do this. I mean, I don't know how many people are willing, like you said, it's not acting like being a character, but it's like exposing yourself to the world for anyone who could come watch these videos. So, first of all, thank you for that vulnerability and willingness, and also for just being a fantastic client who, you do the work, you commit, you introspect, if that's a verb, and really do the work, which makes it easy for me to work with. So amazing.
Thank you very much for saying that. Yeah. Bless you.
All right. Well, thanks. I'm stopping the recording now, even though it feels hard.
Press that button.
Thanks, Silas.